So setup-wise, like I said, for the most part, it's very, very good. You've got a nice kind of lowercase y setup in terms of your arms and the club. By that, you've got there and there and down there. It's not a complete capital Y with the arms either side of the club in the middle. There is a little bit of, I mean, your trail arm is out there and your lead arm is there. So your lead arm is nearer where the golf ball is, if that makes sense, yeah? So you're in a good start position, just slightly tilted with the shoulders, which is great, and generally a good kind of overall setup position. The focus now, or the movements we're trying to try and control on, is in terms of the backswing, your head position, okay? That green line's gone. The head position and your left arm specifically, okay? So as you go back here now, you can see as you go back on the right, the head's starting to move. And at the top of the backswing now, you're actually the same distance from that green line in both positions. Look where you started. The right hand one, that green line's almost on the side of your head, whereas that one's obviously away from it. The left hand one, you kind of stay there, and there's so much more width in your backswing. This left arm, there's always been a lot of shoulder turn, but it's not actually powerful shoulder. It's almost like just a movement off the golf ball. And in terms of actual positions there, you look more powerful here with a sort of 90-degree shoulder turn, maybe 95, and a slightly more extended lead arm, and more over the golf ball than you do here with a real big shoulder turn there, but a big heave-ho bend with the left arm. The club's just lost control there massively. And now as you come back to the golf ball, you look at the amount of dip on that right, because your brain knows, oh, crikey, we're a long way from the golf ball. I've got to get back to that golf ball quickly. So your head now's dropping. Now your arm's extending. It's like, yeah, where am I going, okay? Whereas look at the left-hand one. It's just an unwind. Yeah, you're just unwinding your torso and your hips and your shoulders. Where the right-hand one, you almost look a bit kind of, I mean, look how much so you're tipping there. You're suddenly creating more angles than you need to. We've already got the natural sort of spine angle tilt to start with. But as we said, in the backswing, you had a lifting of the arms and a moving away from the ball with your head, okay? In the downswing, then you have to try and then stretch your arms back and then move your head back to the golf ball. Yeah. The problem was, and this is what most people do, when they swing a golf club, we just focus on that right-hand one now, they move their head kind of up here, and then they move it back down here on the way down. So when they come back to the golf ball now, they're actually dropping it in the ground, hitting the ground early and then hitting the ground heavy, or they think that's no good because the ball gets struck ground first, then the ball, we top it, and they just miss the ground and they miss the ball completely. So neither of which are going to be an ideal kind of sort of situation or scenario, okay? So that amount of head movement, if we look at just the right-hand one, then if I clear all that, we get clearer. You can use sort of the frame bar behind there on the explainer. The left side of your head barely moves off it at all, and there's a smidgen of drop, but you're pretty much back to where you started, and a nice kind of flow and swish with the golf ball. Whereas this one, that big kind of lunge and drop down, yeah, your follow through's pretty decent, but how you kind of got there with the way you struck it, and it's from a consistency standpoint, all those angles you've got to try and make. You've got lateral movement, vertical movement, bending arm, vertical downward movement, tilting back. Yeah, you hit enough golf balls from the same spot, you figure out where the ball is, and it's some reasonable shots. And you go away from the range going, I'm actually pretty happy. I've some nice shots there. I feel really, really good at my game. But then when you actually start to come on the golf course and you start playing with your mates, hopefully, then you said last time play, you let your first shot on the hole really good, maybe, and the next two or three are horrendous. Then the fourth one will be all right, and the fifth and sixth will be terrible. And the next hole, you have a bad first shot, then a good second, and you'll be just up and down like a yo-yo. Okay. If we can just say, right, if the left-hand one is your good swing and good shot, you're going to miss it every now and then, that's a given. But if your miss hits from this position, there's a lot less going on there. Your miss hits now are going to be kind of forwards and straight. Like that last one, it's gone 120, 102 yards, and you're 15 yards offline, okay? Where it's not going like 15 yards on the ground or 100 yards offline, okay? So your dispersion rates in terms of where you're going to target, if the green is 20 yards kind of across and 25, 30 yards deep, you're kind of almost on the edge of the green somewhere. You're not just in front.
Keeping my head as still as I can.
Keeping your torso and your head stable as you rotate.
Yeah.
And the lead arm, as in your left arm, needs to be a bit higher and more extended. I never use that S word because the second you say that word, people are like, okay, I like it dead straight. And it's just like so tight and tense.
That was the problem I was having before.
And it hurts.
my arm was too long. That happened the first time that we played each other.
Very collapsing, exactly, yeah. And again, I would practice as well, so obviously I'm going to explain how to go on easily. stand up against a wall there, so have the wall kind of behind you,
Yeah.
and you're making swings now where you're not going to hit that wall on the way
Yeah.
back. And you'd be roughly about a foot and a half away from the wall. Just do backswing. The
Yeah.
through swing would probably feel more around the body and come and clink into the wall there,
Yeah.
okay? So we're just looking at the backswing kind of movement there, okay?
Okay.
That kind of make sense in you?
Yes, yeah.
Excellent. Very, very good, mate. Well done, buddy.